Amara was a beautiful, dark-skinned young woman with a soft heart and a wide smile that could calm storms. Her hair was always braided neatly, and she carried herself like someone raised with deep morals and grace. She lived with her widowed mother in a two-bedroom house at the edge of the town. Life wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful. Her best friend, Ifeoma, was a light-skinned girl with curves that made people stare. She had been Amara's friend since secondary school. They did everything together, ate together, prayed together, even shared secrets late at night. They called themselves sisters not by blood, but by heart. Amara was humble, calm, and full of dreams. Ifeoma was bold, flashy, and loved attention. But Amara loved her still. One rainy Sunday morning, during a church service, Amara saw him. His name was Chuka. He was tall, caramel-skinned, and had this quiet confidence that drew people to him. He had just returned from Abuja and was seated on the third row wearing a simple white shirt and jeans. Their eyes met when Amara turned to pick her hymnal, and something shifted. After service, he walked up to her. "Hello, I'm Chuka," he said with a smile. "Are you always this graceful, or is today special?" Amara laughed shyly. "Maybe it's the rain." That was how it started. They began talking. At first, just friendly conversations on WhatsApp. Then calls. Then he came to visit her house and met her mother. He was respectful and caring. Her mother liked him, but Ifeoma noticed, and something inside her changed. At first, Ifeoma acted like she was happy for Amara, his fine. "Oh," she would say. "And he has sense too." But deep inside, she was angry. Angry that Amara, quiet, modest, had caught the attention of someone like Chuka. She had always been the one men chased. She had always been the spotlight, so she started planting little doubts. "Amara, are you sure Chuka is not playing you? I saw him at Chicken Republic last week. He was with a girl." "Oh, men like that don't settle for just one woman." Amara laughed it off. She trusted Chuka. He hadn't given her any reason to doubt him, but the seed had been planted. Amara's 25th birthday came. Chuka surprised her with a cake, a gold necklace, and dinner at one of the finest restaurants in town. She invited Ifeoma too. That night, Ifeoma wore a short red gown with open shoulders. She laughed too hard at Chuka's jokes and kept touching his arm during conversations. Amara noticed, but she didn't say anything. Later that night, when Chuka drove her home, he leaned in and said, "Your friend is friendly." Amara just smiled, but her heart was uneasy. 2 weeks later, Amara was at home preparing jollof rice for Chuka's visit when her phone beeped. "Unknown number, your best friend is not who you think she is." Another message, "Check your man's location right now." Her heart skipped. She opened her tracking app. Chuka had once shared his live location when he was stuck on the express. She clicked it, just out of curiosity. Her hands began to shake. He was at Ifeoma's house. She waited. 30 minutes passed. He was still there. 2 hours, she called Ifeoma. No answer, she called Chuka. Switched off, she felt like the ground had opened and swallowed her chest. The next day, Chuka came to see her, looking fresh like nothing had happened. "I went to see my cousin," he lied. Her mom stays close to Ifeoma's side. "I know where you were," Amara said, tears in her eyes. Chuka froze. "I tracked your location. You were at Ifeoma's house." There was silence. Then Chuka sighed. "It's not what you think." But it was. Amara stormed to Ifeoma's house. She banged the gate until Ifeoma came out in a wrapper, holding her phone. "I treated you like my sister," Amara shouted. "And this is what you do?" Ifeoma didn't even deny it. She just looked away and whispered, "He wanted someone more womanly." Amara felt her knees weaken. She didn't cry in front of her. She walked away slowly, her world crashing around her. For 3 days, Amara didn't eat, but on the 4th day, her mother entered her room, touched her face, and said, "Do not die for people who are still living their lives." That was the beginning of her healing. She deleted their numbers, blocked them on all social media, and poured her pain into something new, her baking skills. She started baking cakes for birthdays, small weddings, and baby showers. People started calling her Amara the Baker. Her business grew. But there was something else too, a secret she was hiding. 2 months after the betrayal, Amara started feeling dizzy. She thought it was stress, but then she missed her period. She took a test, positive, she was pregnant, and the only person who could be the father was Chuka. Amara sat quietly in her room, staring at the 2 red lines on the pregnancy test strip. She didn't cry. She didn't scream, she just stared. Everything felt like a dream, a bad one. How could she carry the child of the same man who betrayed her with her best friend? Her mother was in the kitchen singing an Igbo hymn, completely unaware of the secret growing inside her daughter. That evening, Amara knelt at the foot of her bed and prayed, "God, why me?" The only answer she got was silence. The next morning, she wore a long Ankara gown and headed to the small clinic at the back of Udoka Street to confirm the pregnancy. The nurse smiled after checking her results. "Congratulations." Amara smiled weakly. There was no joy in it. As she stepped out of the clinic, someone called her name from across the road. It was Chuka. He looked shocked, as if he had just seen a ghost. "Amara," he said. "What are you doing here?" "I came to check my blood," she lied, but Chuka looked suspicious. He knew that clinic only handled 2 things, pregnancies and injections. He narrowed his eyes. "Are you okay?" Amara looked at him for a long moment and said, "I'm fine." And she walked away. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. "I hear say Amara don't carry pregnant. Is it for that Chuka boy?" But Chuka is dating her best friend now. By the next Sunday, 3 women turned in their seats just to watch her enter the church. One even whispered, "Shameless." Amara kept her head up. If only they knew the full story. But Ifeoma didn't keep quiet. She posted a picture on her status, her and Chuka sitting close at a lounge. Caption, "Good men don't make noise. We keep them safe." Amara saw it. She felt like smashing her phone, but instead, she went to the market and bought baking supplies. She would not let pain win. A few weeks later, Amara's cake business had gone viral in town. Her coconut velvet cake was now everybody's favorite. One day, she got a strange order from a woman who wanted a custom birthday cake for her daughter. She paid in full, without even bargaining. When Amara delivered the cake to the address, she froze. It was Ifeoma's house. She stood at the gate, speechless, the cake box shaking in her hands. Then Ifeoma came out, dressed in a short yellow dress, looking surprised to see her. You're the baker." "I'm the boss," Amara said calmly. Ifeoma smirked. "Well, at least you're good at something." Amara smiled, held out the cake, and replied softly, "And at least I don't have to steal people's leftovers to feel special." Ifeoma's face changed. For the first time, she had no comeback. 2 weeks after the party, Chuka started avoiding Ifeoma. She would call, he wouldn't pick. She would text, he'd reply with 1 word. Then one day, she walked into his compound unannounced and saw him with another girl. "Her name is Blessing," he said. "She understands me better." Ifeoma screamed. She tried to fight Blessing, but Chuka pushed her aside like she was a bag of rice. "You knew I was with Amara," he said coldly. "And yet you betrayed her. You think I can trust you after that?" That was the end. Ifeoma ran home crying. She posted nothing for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Amara was 5 months pregnant now. Her baby bump had started showing. She no longer hid it. She posted soft photos of her baking while smiling, wearing beautiful wrappers and bold head ties. One morning, she got a message on Instagram from a man named Obina. He wrote, "I've been following your work. I don't know your story, but I admire your strength. I'm opening a bakery school in Asaba. I want to train single mothers and survivors. I'd love for you to be part of it." At first, Amara thought it was a joke, but he sent proof. He was real. He flew down 2 weeks later just to meet her. Obina was different, dark, bearded, and quiet like a man who had seen pain too. He didn't ask her about the pregnancy. He didn't judge her, he just said, "I believe in second chances." And just like that, Amara's next chapter began. 8 months, Amara began feeling sharp pains in the night. She was rushed to the hospital. The nurses worked hard. Chuka showed up at the hospital gate with panic all over his face. "I heard she's in labor." He wasn't allowed in, but from outside the window, he heard the baby's first cry. It was a girl. Amara held her baby and cried, not because of pain, but because of strength. The doctor smiled. "You have a strong heart." She looked at the child. "Your name is Kamsio Chuku," she whispered, "means whatever I asked from God, He gave me." Chuka stood at the glass, tears in his eyes. He wanted to say something, but Amara turned her face away. 2 weeks after Amara gave birth, she received an envelope at her doorstep. No name, no sender. She opened it and found a handwritten letter. It was from Ifeoma. "Amara, if you're reading this, I've probably left town already. Not because I want to run, but because I can't live with what I did. What I did to you was more than betrayal. It was envy, it was wickedness. Chuka never loved me. He only used me to get back at you. But I was too blind, too desperate to see it. I didn't just steal your man, Amara. I also sent those anonymous messages to break your heart. I wanted you to doubt him. I ruined everything, but now karma has dealt with me. I found out I was pregnant after he dumped me. I told him. He said it wasn't his, and I lost the baby last week. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed to tell you the truth." Amara dropped the letter, her heart beating like a drum. For a moment, she felt anger, then sadness, then nothing. She picked up her baby, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "You see, my child. This world teaches us lessons we didn't ask for." By now, Obinna had become a regular in Amara's life. He helped her rebrand her business, Komi's Delight, named after her daughter. She had a small bakery school now, with 5 girls who came to learn every week. Obinna saw something in Amara the world had overlooked: resilience. One evening, while she was decorating cupcakes for a wedding order, Obinna came in quietly and said, "I have something to ask you." Amara looked up. He pulled out a small blue box. "I'm not asking you to marry me now," he said gently. "I'm asking you to consider letting someone love you again. The right way." Amara's hands froze. She looked at the ring, then at her daughter playing on the mat, then at Obinna's face, calm, patient, and sincere. I need time," she whispered. He smiled. "I'll wait. I've waited for peace in my own life for years. I can wait for you too." 2 months later, Chuka returned again, this time, not with flowers, not with apologies, but with confusion in his eyes. He looked thinner, like life had been dragging him by the collar. "I lost my job," he confessed. "My new girl left me. I don't even know who I am anymore." He looked at the baby in Amara's arms. "She looks like me." Amara didn't reply. "I want to be a part of her life." She stared at him for a long moment. "You had a chance to be in her life," she said, calmly. "You chose something else. I made a mistake." "Some mistakes," she said softly, "don't come with second chances." Chuka knelt down, tears in his eyes. "I'm begging you." Amara bent, kissed her daughter's cheek, and said, "You should beg God. I already forgave you the day I survived from you." And she walked back into her house, closed the door gently, and never looked back. 1 year later, Komi's Delight became the top cake brand in the region. Amara was invited to give a talk at a women's empowerment summit. She wore a bright pink dress with her daughter in matching colors. When she stepped on stage, everyone stood to clap. Obinna sat proudly in the front row. She began, "I was broken. I was betrayed. I was left to carry a burden alone, but I discovered something in that pain, purpose. My name is Amara, and I am not a victim. I am a woman reborn through fire. If you're in pain, don't hide, use it, grow from it, turn it into something that feeds the world." The room erupted in applause. Komi giggled on her hip, and Obinna smiled with pride. Months later, Obinna proposed again. This time, Amara said yes, not because she was searching for love, but because she had found herself first. Her wedding was simple, under the shade of an idolatry, surrounded by the women she taught, her mother, her daughter, and her healing. She didn't wear diamonds, she wore dignity. She didn't carry pain, she carried peace. And Ifeoma, she moved far away, never to be heard from again. But Amara forgave her fully, deep in her heart, because forgiveness was not a gift to Ifeoma, it was freedom for herself. Sometimes, betrayal is the fire that molds you, and the same pain that tries to destroy you can be the same pain that makes you shine. Amara's journey reminds us that life is full of choices, some tempting, some dangerous. She started with dreams and hope, but a single wrong step nearly cost her everything. Her story is not just about pain, it's about learning, second chances, and the strength to rise again. No matter where you are right now, remember, you are worth more than quick promises and false glitter. Choose the path that protects your heart and your future. Thank you for taking the time to watch and listen. Your support means the world to us. Sparkling heart, if you enjoyed this, please follow, like, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring African stories. Let's keep growing together.